High prices all over Walt Disney World Resort have turned away guests. Now it's turning off investors. Main Street USA being called by Wall Street USA, quote unquote, stagnant. Today we'll tell you why this may be the beginning of a better future for Disney, why it just simply cannot keep going this way. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel that continues to give you the best coverage you can find on YouTube when it comes to entertainment analysis as well as theme parks and what's going on there. Specifically today, we're talking about Walt Disney World Resort. And folks, sometimes, I know this is shocking, but there are times when those out there say, well, the Pro Channel, well, that's the negative Disney Channel. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case at all. What we are the honest channel, and I can tell you why. The Disney company has lost something like 60% of its overall stock value in 3 years. It would be very difficult to cover a company that does that and not say something is wrong. You would want us to do that with any company that lost 60%, more than half of its total value in just 3 years. And so that's what we do with Disney on a regular basis. And honestly, folks, it is tiresome to constantly follow this company and think, please give us something positive to talk about. Consider this. When they have given us positive things that we could converse about and do commentary over, we've done it. Deadpool and Wolverine, undoubtedly a win. We talked about it. Inside Out 2, same thing, talked about it. And there was X-Men 97, the cartoon series that, while having some issues with it, we gave it overall I believe it's between an 8.5 and a 9. 8.5, I think, is where we landed. Folks, go back and check it out. Let us know. But guess what? It turns out that investors are beginning to sour on Disney. And perhaps the hour is nigh where Mickey Mouse is going to start flying high once more. Maybe Bob Iger, maybe Josh D'Amaro, while I think they're completely and totally entrenched in their bad ideas, maybe they're going to be forced to make changes depending on how bad things get. And I think 2025, with the opening of Epic Universe, could be that moment where Disney is finally forced to re-examine, reevaluate, and then exit the strategies they've been doing, which have been destroying their parks. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but there is a better possibility on the horizon. Folks, as we get ready to talk about this, consider clicking the like button. Today we start with The Motley Fool by James Brumley. We go to The Motley Fool, but it's not our only Wall Street article today. Of course, The Motley Fool is an investment website. Here's what it says. Here's why Disney is raising theme park ticket prices, but will it work? Anyone who's priced a Walt Disney vacation within the past few days might be suffering a bit from a bit of sticker shock. A trip to any of its theme parks has never been cheap, but following price increases imposed earlier this month, it'll cost you on the order of 6% more just to set foot in California's Disneyland. Florida's Disney World ticket prices are still slated for similar increases next year. And even beyond entry ticket prices, visitors have seen stunning growth in the cost of in-park amenities. Amen. A slice of gourmet chocolate cake can set you back as much as $26, for instance. Disney's cruises are nickel and diming passengers at least a little more now than they were just a few years ago, with increased corkage fees and higher suggested gratuities. The decisions raise reasonable concern for shareholders of the Walt Disney Company. Folks, this is what we have been saying. This is what we have been declaring from the rooftops. And this is why we are the ones with the winning attitude. This is the reason we are the ones with the sober analysis. And Wall Street is agreeing with us. The pixie dusters, the heavy dosage cupcakers, folks, they've been fibbing to you. I hope it's not a hard breakup for you, but we've been ahead of this curve, ahead of the culture curve. We've been ahead of this curve telling you this was all bad, and Disney doesn't need to do it. In fact, I would also say, not only is Disney raising the prices constantly and doing so in a way that they do not, in my estimation, take into account how can we keep costs down, but also most of the things Disney is doing at their parks, well, it's damaging the parks. There are exceptions. For example, I think the overall attraction, Cosmic Rewind, while the IP may be poorly placed in Epcot, the overall attraction is wonderful. But that's an exception to the rule. Most attractions like Tiana's Bayou Adventure or the little lights in World Celebration at Epcot, they don't work. They don't function. And that's a problem when you continue to raise prices on people. They might, it says, talking about concern. But there's also not much choice in the matter other than to take this risk. It's no small risk either. See, Disney's theme parks, resorts, and related experiences are its biggest business in terms of revenue and profit. Stop. Folks, how many times do we say this? This article is wonderful because, well, it doesn't have to agree with us to be wonderful, but it's wonderful because it is validating of what we've been telling you for years, whether it's on this channel or that park place or that pod place, whether it's on Culture Casino or Valiant Renegade or Midnight's Edge. This is what we've been telling you. And now we've reached the precipice where the mainstream media, where the investment class can no longer ignore the bad decisions that Disney is making. It says a business Disney absolutely must get right. In its defense, the Walt Disney Company isn't doing anything most other companies aren't. Its own operating costs are rising. It must respond one way or another. And I have thoughts on how it would do that. Except the situation may be even more dire, as well as more complicated than it seems to be on the surface. Simply put, Walt Disney's theme parks, resorts, and other vacation-type businesses aren't growing. At best is what it says. They're stagnant. And from some vantage points, they're even contracting. This is true of their top as well as their bottom lines. And you can see they've got the chart there to show you exactly what they're talking about. It's amazing now to see. This is the linchpin of the company. This is what kept them going, shockingly, through the pandemic because, well, Disney Plus as well. Good job, Bob Chapek. But, and by the way, that's reversed course. This is Disney's most constant, most fundamental, and most trustworthy asset in their entire portfolio, the domestic Disney parks. Now, that has changed. And it's changed because they went insane with all their other departments and areas of Disney, and eventually it caught up with them with the most beloved part of the Disney experience, which is people going to see the castle and taking their kids to do it. It's not terribly surprising, although most consumers still seemingly have a bit of discretionary income left to spend after paying for their basic goods and services. It's difficult to deny that budgets are strained right now. An expensive vacation isn't a particularly prudent choice for most households at this time. And let us remind you, everybody, Disney now is essentially one of the most expensive vacation options you can take. And it's definitely the most expensive for the middle class. Disney now costs more than going to Hawaii for most families. Disney costs more now than going to a European stay. You want a chalet in the Alps? Cheaper than the mouse, that's for sure. Let me show you this. Over on the street, just so you think I'm not cherry picking the perfect article that just affirms and confirms what I've been saying. Over on the street from Patricia Battle, just a few days ago. Disney World just became less magical with controversial change. Okay, well, what's that change then? Disney World has been dubbed the most magical place on earth by its fan base for decades. Millions of people from all over the world travel to the Orlando theme park to fulfill their childhood dreams. But some consumers are starting to feel that the magic is losing its sparkle amid a recent change. After Disneyland, which is based in California, implemented a series of price increases. For multiple tickets and passes last week, Disney World decided to follow in its footsteps. Consumers are not happy. Disney World guests can now expect to pay an extra $30 to $100 for annual passes, depending on the type. Also, consumers planning Disney World vacations for November and December next year will have to cough up an extra $10 to $15 for tickets on days when tickets are in high demand. These new price hikes also come after Disney World has reportedly increased prices for several menu items at multiple dining spots such as Magic Kingdom's Plaza Restaurant and Epcot's Akershus Royal Banquet Hall. Yes, all of this is making things look not good for Disney. The only way that you can raise prices like this, by the way, and have it be successful is if you have a product that's improving to compensate people for what they view as being more of a value taken out of their wallet. You have to give them more of a value back in return. And Disney simply isn't doing that. Not only are they not adding more value, they're taking value away. Splash Mountain was the most popular attraction at Walt Disney World Resort. They took it away. They replaced it with a busted bayou that doesn't work. Now they're busy getting started on taking down Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island, which is magnificently beautiful scenery that basically no other theme park out there has. And why are they going to get rid of it? Because it's problematic to have references to Mark Twain anymore. So you have to get rid of that and replace that with off-brand, off-track racers from the Cars universe that nobody's ever seen before. And those will be zipping along a track next to Haunted Mansion, making the theming a little strange for the goose and gulls that are over there. Gulls and goose, gulls and geese. I don't know, folks. You get the idea. Ghosts and ghouls. I kid. But folks, here's the bottom line. It's always darkest before it gets brighter. And going to a Disney park probably shouldn't be the most important thing in your entire life, but it's not nothing. And taking your family with you to a place that is safe and where value can be had and where memories can be made is a grand thing. I understand why Disney parks are important to so many people. Now, I'm not telling you to be obsessed and religious about it like some people have become. That's weird. That's strange. But I get wanting to go and re-experience the magic that made your childhood wonderful, or your children wonderful, made them so happy, and now you want to do it with the grandkids. I get all of that. And for those of you who are saddened by the diminishment of the parks, I believe we're at the cusp of a potential change in a positive direction. It's probably the first time you've heard me say that. But the reason that I believe it is because I think now the outcries are reaching such a crescendo that Disney can no longer ignore it, even if they have really, really dense thinking at the top. And they do. The problem for Disney is they're losing the investment class now. Investors are catching on. That's the shift this week. Not only that, but Disney also likely faces now a potential conflict with the executive branch moving forward. Don't want to put this into politics too heavily, but Disney's not going to have a favorable relationship, probably, we don't know this yet, but probably a favorable relationship based on the political betting odds right now, a favorable relationship with the executive branch. And that can mean investigations. That can mean that they don't get all the easy money flowing into them from governments and subsidies and all of these sorts of things that they might have received had things gone the other way. And so in that kind of a situation, things are even more dire for Disney. They need to turn the page badly. They need to switch what they've been doing as fast as they possibly can. And they might just be forced to do so. We shall see, folks. But I have a thought that 2024, the rest of this year, is probably the best time for you to go visit Disney, period, flat out. 2025, I think, despite the rise in prices, you're going to see discount after discount after discount. And then I think you're going to begin to see changes, not only at the parks, but also in leadership. I think we're going to see leadership changes. And that's why I think that Wall Street has decided that the former head of Morgan Stanley will now be picking the next CEO of Disney, not Bob Iger. The reason for that? Investors are tired of the head honchos at the House of Mouse. So are you, so are we, and we're ready for good experiences to return again. Universal attractions, and I don't mean Universal Studios. I mean attractions that make everybody happy and don't have to stomp on the memories that we've had at fun places we enjoy so much. You don't have to give up your ride for a new ride to happen in a world, in a land that has 40 square miles of expansion area. That doesn't have to be. And I think we might just see changes very, very soon. Epic Universe going to be a part of forcing their hand there. Good job, Universal. Good job, free market. Folks, that is the video today. Mark it down. This is the First Time Pro says he can see a glimmer of hope on the horizon for Disney parks. And I truly believe it. Market forces will push them in a better direction very soon. They've almost reached rock bottom. All right, folks, if you like videos like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, until the next time we have the joy of being joined with you, keep learning, keep growing, watch the Pro Show, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube.
Huh?
Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube, one of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga.
He's Jose.
That one seems a little bit foreign to you.